Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a while since I put up a video, and I've been quite busy. I had a number of things that I had to take care of. I went on vacation for a week. I've been really busy at work. I had some stuff to do with the family, and it's just been a little bit hectic, so I haven't had time to do a video, but I want to get back in the swing of things. So that's where I've been, and I appreciate all you coming back and watching the video, so thank you. So what we're doing today is we're going to build us a dummy speaker. Okay, so if you recall, I built one of these a while back, and it's a large wooden box, and it's got a meter on it and that type of thing. But it's a little bit bulky, and when I'm working on an amp or something along those lines that I need to test, it's just a little bit too big. So I had one of these Fieldtex dual channel function generator that I bought a long time ago that's never worked right. It just was a piece of junk. I got it for $10. So what I did was I took it apart, and this is the front label, but essentially it's just a project case. Okay, so this is the front panel. That was on it, and that's what this was right here. So we took this thing apart right to the bone, and we've got all the pieces out, and essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a dummy speaker load box out of it. The back panel is convenient because I have two BNC connectors, so I can use that as an output to the oscilloscope. So that's really handy. I don't need the power connection, but I'll save that. And also, here's the board that was in there. This board is going to be kind of useless, but I can certainly use this display with some of my Arduino projects, so we'll salvage that. And then there's also this 5 and 12 volt power supply that was in there, which is good. So I can reuse this for another time if I need a small power supply. So we're going to save that. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking these two resistors, and these are 100 watts, and there's a 4 ohm, and there's an 8 ohm, and we're going to mount these things inside the case like so, just like this. Should be easy to do. There's already holes in there that I can attach them to, and we're going to run them to the front panel, right? And the front panel's here, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have a speaker jack here for 4 ohm, a speaker jack here for 8 ohm, and then I'm going to have a BNC connector on the front for an oscilloscope, in addition to the two on the back. So that's the plan. I'm going to create a new faceplate for this and print it and make sure it looks good and laminate it and put that over this. It'll cover this hole up. We don't need this hole. And I'll just simply put things back together. From a wiring perspective, it's simple, right? If I'm going to put a speaker jack here, I'm just going to connect each of these resistors to the appropriate speaker, and then put a connection that goes out to the oscilloscope leads. So really, really simple. So that's the plan with this. That's what we're going to build, and we're going to put it back together, and then I'll have something that's relatively portable that I can use when I'm working on an amp. So this is just a little side project. A couple of updates on my other projects. The Hallicrafters S20R, the case has now been stripped, and I'm in the process of painting and all that stuff, and when I get that done I'll show it to you, and then I'll have to put the decals on. That's going to take me a couple of weeks to get that done because I've just got too many other things going on, and I'll show you that when I'm ready to start putting the decals on it, and show you what the case comes out like, and then I'll put that chassis back in and we'll be in good shape. The Goat amplifier that we're building, I still haven't put it inside the case. I have all the components necessary, but I haven't done it yet. I have to build a support around it so that I can drop that amp in there, and then that'll be relatively done. It's all there. I just have to put it together. So that's the story with those projects. We're going to build this one real quick, and then after this we're going to start working on that grandfather clock, that Crossley grandfather clock. We've got to work on the radio part, which is a Crossley 124. That's going to be our next series that we start working on. But for now, we're going to get this going and get this where it needs to be, and then we'll take it from there. So I'm going to shut this off for a minute. I'm going to do a little bit of work and start getting this ready, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, just bringing you back. I have these resistors now mounted in the bottom cabinet, and you'll see they're in there securely with a couple of screws. And here we are on the bottom, and this thing has a nice little leg here which will work. so we have our wires here all ready to connect. And I've also put the components in the front panel that we're going to use. This is for the 8 ohm speaker, 4 ohm speaker. This is for my oscilloscope. And I've also removed one of the BNC connectors from the back panel, and I'm going to use this one here for that. Let me get the phone. I'll be right back. Okay, I created a little faceplate here and printed it on photographic paper with my color printer. And I used a little 3M adhesive, and I attached it to that faceplate. And now we're going to just trim off this extra, and we should have ourselves a pretty professional looking faceplate here. Let's turn this around. This stuff is really sticky. I used that 3M spray adhesive, and this stuff works pretty good. So let's continue trimming. Okay. There we go. So all I have to do now is just punch out the holes for the jacks. I got 8 ohm, 4 ohm, and a scope. We're going to mount this then in the faceplate, which is right here. And we got ourselves a dummy box. Let me poke the holes and get the components mounted. Be right back. Okay, we have our components mounted. It's looking real good, just like so. And we're going to take this and pop this in here, which is the place where it goes. So let's see if we can pop that in there. There's little retaining clips here that hold it in. And this thing is pretty bendable, so I shouldn't have any problem getting that in there. Just slide that down a little bit. I may need to put a little pressure on this side here. It's like, remember the old shoe horns? Having a little bit of trouble here. Let me get this in and I'll come back to you. Okay, we have it in. Looks great, doesn't it? Doesn't that look cool? So so our next step is going to be to take this thing and connect it here, just like that, and we'll do our wiring. And then we're also going to have to run a wire from this back panel, as I stated earlier, which has the BNC connector. That's simple. I'm going to use a shielded wire on that so I don't have any noise, because I'm going to be using this for a scope. So I'm going to change the wiring for these connections to a shielded wire, and that's going to be the next part of the project. So so we're making some really good progress. I think what I'll do is I'll complete this project tomorrow, because I'm going to go out in a little while tonight and got a few things to do. And tomorrow I will come back and we'll make the connections and we'll test it and see how it works. So that's the plan. That's the plan for our dummy load box. And real simple, as you can see. You know, nothing really to it here. It's really just a question of connecting a 4 ohm or an 8 ohm resistor that's 100 watts or 200 watts, and that will let me we'll test amplifiers, so I don't have to connect the speaker. Alright, so I'm gonna end the video here. So you've seen this part, and tomorrow we'll come back and we'll finish up, and we'll get that'll prime us up to begin our next project, which is the Crossley grandfather clock. Okay, great. Good to see you guys again. Thanks for hanging in there. I hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's safe and sound and healthy. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.